So this guy rented me a room in Newfoundland. A few weeks later, I woke up to an axe smashing through my door. I thought I was gonna die that night. I got a job in St. John's. I was looking for a place to live. And I found this guy named Nick Hussey. He was renting a house. It was in a suburb of St. John's. He rented me the basement of the house that he was renting, so he was subletting to me basically. So I got the room, we became friends, we drank and smoked together. And anyways, he started getting these feelings about that I was trying to get with his girlfriend or vice versa. He got really jealous of me. I didn't really catch on to it right away, but I agreed to go to his dad's house for a barbecue. And we decided to go for a quad ride. So I hopped on the back with him. You know, I had a couple of beers earlier and took a ride on the quad. I was on the back with him. This is quite a few years back. And he was driving wild out through the path. He was going crazy. And it almost felt like he was trying to buck me off the quad. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. So anyways, I was like, man, I remember one point I'd be like, bro, you gotta stop, man. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna knock me off and you're gonna kill me. And I don't know, he mumbled off something. Anyways, I found out later he was drinking like a 60 of vodka a day plus an amount of prescription pills. This went on for a little while. I don't know, I was going through a lot of stuff at the time. I know it was the same time period when my grandmother Lawton passed away. God rest her soul. I remember I was sleeping one night. This was going on for a while. He was kind of getting jealous. We used to hang out and go to bingo together. It was kind of fun, but there was always something, or I don't know. I just never really thought much about it. I didn't really give a shit. I wasn't after his girl, bottom line. But I was sleeping one night and I was snoozing, man. And I remember hearing a big bang, huge bang, boom, and another one. And it was all happened so quick. I ended up come to after the first one. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? I looked over to my bed and I seen a fucking light gaping through it, and bang, another axe. This guy's outside the door swinging a fucking axe through the door. So I kind of timed it out, and I was like, okay, the third one's coming. So I'm gonna wait for it to swing through and then I'm gonna bust out through the door. So I waited, and sure enough, just like clockwork, boom, he came, and I was up out of the bed and I charged through and I knocked him on his fucking ass in the stairwell. And the way the house is, you come down the stairs, and there's like a little landing where you can go out the front, or you can go down the stairs again. There's my bedroom right here. So he was at my bedroom in the foyer or whatever right there. I remember like just rushing him, bang, out through. I beat that door off the hinges, but rushed him, busted out through. Like after he swung the axe, I guess, you know what I mean? I was just all so quick how it happened, but it was like instantly, as soon as it came through, I knew that he wasn't gonna come through again. So I was like, bang, I rushed out through and I popped through that door and I knocked him on his ass, and I ran up the stairs and up the other stairs into the kitchen, up the stairs and then around and up the stairs. There's a fish tank to the right-hand side filled with fish. I don't know, like a 100-gallon tank. It was a big fish tank. I just remember I wasn't paying no attention to that. I just ran up the stairs. I was so thirsty. I wanted to get up, get away from him, and assess the situation. You know, I was after passing out, like dabbing and stuff, right? So I was just really thirsty. I needed something to drink really bad. So I remember going into the kitchen, opening the fridge, grabbing had a water cooler in the fridge, and I took it out and got a glass of water. I just had like a sip out of it, and I heard something. Anyways, I closed the fridge door, put the glass down, walked around. Well, not walk, I guess it was kind of like quick how it happened. He was already coming up the stairs with the axe coming again, swinging at me. I seen him coming, and like I said, the second time I timed it out. I'm not Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or nothing like that. This is real shit. He swung, and I seen him coming. He swung again, and when he swung again, the axe came down in front of me. Like, I don't know, maybe I was back far enough, it wasn't gonna hit me, but I was back far enough that I could lunge in and grab it from him. And I yanked it out of his hand when he came through this way, and I ended up coming through all in one motion, came through, picked him up, and I kind of suplexed him through the fish tank. This is no bullshit, you can look it up. Maybe I'll put a link to the news articles and stuff about it, but smash it through the fish tank. And there was he lacerated like arteries or something, or veins in his arms, and there was blood squirting everywhere. It smashed the fish tank, so there's water rolling and gushing down over. There was blood everywhere. I'm not trying to be too graphic. I'm just trying to tell you guys how it actually happened. Like I said, he came through with the axe. I pulled it out of his hand, went up, suplexed him basically through the fish tank. I I remember seeing the blood going everywhere, and he's on the ground. There's a fish going down over the stairs. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this a dream or what? Like, what is going on here? I was like, fuck, he's bleeding. What am I gonna do? What the fuck do I do? So I turned, anyways, I went back. I was so thirsty. I went back into the kitchen quickly to grab the rest of my water, to have a sip of water. And when I turned around, there's an island in the kitchen. There was a big towel, like a white towel across the island, and there was like scalpels and kitchen knives, and there was like saws and shit. He had it all. He had the whole island done out with stuff that pretty much probably cut me up and get rid of me, as I'm thinking now, looking back. Anyways, I don't call the cops or nothing, but I ended up calling 911 because he was bleeding out. I was scared that I was gonna end up having a guy die on me. I was just protecting myself. Like I said, I'm not condoning violence or nothing like that. This is just some stuff that I've been through. You know, if anybody can relate, drop a comment. Let me know if you've been through a similar situation. You know, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because this is going to be a new series, and I hope it gets some traction. So I'm like freaked out at this point. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is going on right now? I had to kind of take a double take and look again. I'm like, sure enough, it's all right there. There's a big towel, like a big white towel. It's like almost like a surgeon fucking table with the saws and the fucking scalpel and kitchen knives and butcher knives. And it was all there. I'd say there was about 20 blades. He's on the floor bleeding out, the fish. I'm on the phone with 911 trying to fucking, I'm like, man, this guy's bleeding out, get over here right now. Anyways, they show up, there's like 16 cruisers. I'm fucking freaking out. I thought this guy's gonna fucking die and bleed out on me. So I actually had to call the ambulance to get the paramedics to come and try to take care of him. Anyways, it all ended. I ended up moving out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I didn't charge him, the cops charged him. He got a bunch of shit for it. I didn't, they just seen what happened, right? And this and that. They knew he had a history for stuff like that, I guess. I had like mega PTSD. I couldn't sleep after that because I couldn't. I always had thinking about someone coming through my door trying to kill me. Especially after seeing all the stuff upstairs, going for a glass of water. But it was like a few years later, I remember my mom calling me up or texting me. I think she called me and she said, remember, I won't say his name, I have to block his name out. If anybody wants to know, hit me up and I can tell you, and you can look up the news article about him and what happened and all this stuff. But she's like, yeah, he blew his brains out last night. He killed himself, unalived himself. That night I slept for 12 hours. It was the longest sleep I've had in about 10 years, I think. And I'll never forget, like driving out on the back of that quad, and he's just wrecking through just like little tiny skinny trails, and he's trying to rip me off, whip me off, and he's trying to get me drinking straight vodka with him and stuff. And, you know, it was at a point in my life when it was a lot of substance abuse. Anyway, stay tuned next week, man. This is going to be a weekly series. This is just one thing that I've been through, and that kept me awake for a long time. I was years and years and years. And as soon as she told me that, it was like a kind of a relief. I felt really bad that that's what happened to him, but it was like a crazy enlightenment. Or I actually slept that night for 12 hours. It was insane. Yeah. Subscribe, comment, man, share this. Come back next week at the same time. It'll be a brand new story for you guys today. Believe it or not, man, I don't know what to say, but it's kind of probably sounds far-fetched or whatever, but I can guarantee you that shit happened. Thank you.